Hey guys, welcome back to the Cornucopia. I am cooking today, and bear with me because I think I feel like the baby's probably going to come in within about 3 days. The way my stomach is set up right now, the way my tummy is set up, it feels like she's going to come, but I had to get this done. But anyway, today I'm going to make cabbage with carrots, sweet potatoes, some canned black-eyed peas, and rice. So let's see if we can get this done, if baby's going to come or what's going to happen. Let's see. And my stomach is hurting and I'm super duper tired. It is 2:33 in the morning because I kind of went to sleep. It's almost like narcolepsy. Throughout my pregnancy, I just kind of went to sleep. I was sitting on the couch trying to get my breath and gather myself so that I could get ready to shoot this video, and I fell asleep in the process. So anyway, now I guess I got enough energy to get this done, and we gotta eat, right? We just snacked until now. If this is the first video you've watched, we are night owls, so this is our normal schedule anyway. We are up at night and we sleep during the day for the most part, and so yeah, dinner's a little late, but we're getting it cracking anyway. So let me give you one last look just in case this is the last Prego video. I plan on doing my labor and delivery on for you guys. I plan on recording it, so yeah, that's going to be interesting. I love watching labor and delivery videos. I love watching life being born. I love being pregnant, and since I love it, I feel like some other people may love it also, and I just wanted to share that with y'all because I think it's such a beautiful process, and it will be a natural birth and labor, God willing. That's what I did with my first child. I didn't have any epidurals or Pitocin or anything like that. However, my first child was born in the hospital, and so the doctor that delivered my child, I had been seeing one doctor, and on the day of delivery, my daughter came 2 weeks early, and so my scheduled doctor was on vacation, so a sub came in, and he was just trying to wham bam, thank you ma'am, me out of there. And he tried to give me Pitocin, and he broke my water. He cut me, you know, a episiotomy. He gave me an episiotomy, and I didn't want any of that. I told him that ahead of time. I could not record in the hospital that my daughter was born in. We got to record up until it was time to push, and the doctor was like, I'm not going to deliver this baby until you cut that camera off. So that was unfortunate. And then, you know, they cut the cord right away, and it's a whole big fight that I don't think a mother should have, and I really didn't have the strength to have that fight anyway. So I'm really looking forward to a home birth. I'm having some complications that I guess we can talk about later, depending on whether or not I get to have a home birth. But yeah, so hopefully y'all pray for me, and hopefully God will accept the retroactive prayers that I can have my home birth, so that I can have my child the way that I feel is healthiest for me and my child. I don't want my umbilical cord cut right away. I want it to wait until it's done pulsating. I want to deliver my placenta naturally, if at all possible. and I don't want to be in a situation where I'm rushed so that the doctor can get on to the next person. I want to do what's best for me and my baby rather than what's best for an institution or anyone else other than me and my child. So anyway, that's that. And like I said, let me give you one last look at the bump. Ooh, I am 37 weeks right now. Today is Friday. Well, now it's Saturday, August the 17th. My birthday was August the 13th. And this is the last, well, I don't know if it's the last look, but I feel like it's the last look of my little baby girl. And I'll give you guys the name after she is born on the delivery video. Anyway, I feel lots of pressure on my cervix. My legs hurt, like right in here. They hurt really bad. So like I have a real smooth waddle going on right now. And I have been getting a dull, very dull and very light pain in my back, like right here. It's not very, can you see? It's not very often, but I just started that today. Also, I just got my raspberry leaf tea. This is to help ripen your cervix. If you're about to go and deliver, it does not induce labor, but it will help to ripen your cervix so that when you start pushing, pushing also, but when you start labor and the contractions, it makes the contractions more purposeful so that you don't have to go through labor for an extended period of time. It makes your cervix more strong and focused on getting the baby out. It does a lot of other things, but of course, since I'm about to deliver a baby, that's what I'm taking it for. So this is the brand that I use. And anything that I'm using a tea for to be medicinal, this is typically the brand that I use. So that's that. And also evening primrose. I got some of this. This is also good for a lot of things, but it's also good for labor and delivery. It also helps soften the pelvic floor. It helps to soften the cervix so that when it's time for it to start thinning for the baby to come out, it's not such a hard process for your body. So this just helps your body do what it's already going to do anyway, but it just makes it a little bit easier. It makes the job a little bit easier, and it makes labor a little less laborsome, if you will. But anyway, evening primrose, and you shouldn't take red raspberry leaf or evening primrose until third trimester, and typically late in your third trimester. Like I say, I'm week 37. I'm almost to week 38 actually. And yeah, so I just started today. Anyway, that's that. So let's get started cooking, and let's hope I can get through with this in a timely manner. I don't keep you guys too long, and I don't work up myself into labor. I'm supposed to be going to take some maternity pictures tomorrow. And last year my daughter came on the day, not last year, my first baby came on the day that I was scheduled to take my maternity pictures. So Let's see how it goes this time. All right, so I have my frozen bell peppers. If you watched my other video, I have talked about slicing my bell peppers, slicing my bell peppers, putting them in a Ziploc bag and throwing them in the freezer. So it's just makes prep time a little bit easier. And these bell peppers, garlic, and onion will be put in my cabbage. So I just want to quickly run some of these under the water just to like rinse the ice off. So I'll do that real quickly. And bell peppers, you do not want to put them in too much water because they will get super soggy super quick. So my bell peppers, I kind of like to leave them big for my cabbage. Do I have my oil? Yeah, here it is. I kind of like to leave them big for my cabbage. You know, me and my daughter both love bell pepper, and so we don't mind crunching down on a piece. So I'm gonna get that started. I think I want to do my cabbage with tongs. Let's see which tongs I'm gonna use. I'll use these ones. So I'll get some. This is my bacon fat that I keep when on the rare occasion that I do have bacon. This is my bacon fat. So I want to take some of this. This is what I'm going to render the vegetables with. Since I'm not going to use any meat or any pork or anything in my cabbage, like you can use ham hocks, neck bones, or fat back or a salt joe in your cabbage, and also in your black eyed peas. But since I'm not gonna use any meat, this is a meatless meal, I am going to just use my bacon fat for flavor. This adds so much flavor. I enjoy it. It makes the food taste so much better than just olive oil, which I use olive oil sometimes too, but today we are using the good old bacon fat, good old bacon grease, which, by the way, after I cook, I let it cool down a little bit, and I put a paper towel over this mason jar and sink it down in there, and that's how I filter my bacon fat. And then I just put a top on it and save it for later. Anyway, that's that. So let's get to chopping. Let's bring you guys in to the action. All right. So like I say, I like larger pieces of bell pepper in my cabbage. I'm also going to cut up bell pepper for my black eyed peas. So the ones that I'm going to put in my cabbage are going to be a little bit larger, but the ones that I'm going to put in my black eyed peas are going to be diced a lot smaller. I don't want large pieces of bell pepper in my black eyed peas. So I want a little bit more than this right here for my cabbage, so let's pull out some more. And I don't want them green because the cabbage is green. You want to give your food, you want to make your food colorful as well as taste good. And then anyway, if you eat the rainbow of colors, each color is good for a different part of your system. And so you really want to try to eat as many colors as you can, so that you can have a more well-rounded diet. That's very, very important for overall health. All right, I pulled out some more from my cabbage, and I'm just gonna give these a quick rinse. I'll be right back. So I just gave them a quick rinse to get the ice off, and bam, there you go. So let's get this stove on, heat up the grease, and while that grease is heating, I'm gonna chop up my onion. So today I'm gonna use a yellow onion. I love yellow and white onions, but today we're gonna use a yellow onion for both which is also a sweet, this is a sweet onion. I'm going to use it for the black eyed peas and the cabbage. So I'm just going to, since I'm going to use the whole thing, so since I'm going to use the whole thing, I'm just going to split this in half. Cut the ends off. Let me see. For the cabbage, I don't have to cut the stuff up super small. Can have bigger chunks of everything. So I'm gonna get one more onion. This onion looks like it may not be, it may have seen better days. Let's see. Oh, it's not too bad. Well, maybe it is. We'll see how much of it is actually usable. And if y'all are on a budget, some of y'all who are not on a budget, y'all may not know nothing about saving your vegetables and stuff. The good part, you just throw the whole thing away. Well, when you're on a budget, you cut off the bad parts and keep it moving. You pray over your food, at least I do, and go on about your business. All right, so let's see, that's enough for my cabbage. Now I'm chopping for the black eyed peas, and I want that smaller. So I'm going to cut the long one first. And then we're going to dice, because I don't want large pieces of vegetable in my black eyed peas. And then also, when it's done, I'm going to put some red onion. I'll make red onion, cucumber, and tomato to put on top of my black eyed peas. I'll put a little salt and pepper, well, probably nature's seasoning on top of it, and either Italian or ranch dressing. Throw that on top of your black eyed peas, honey, with that cornbread. That's some slap somebody. Don't slap your mama, but slap somebody. Goodness, that's something you definitely want. That's that yum yum good, like Miss B Love says. All right. All right, so we want to roll this grease all around your skillet, so otherwise the parts that are not greased, the skillet will scorch. You'll mess up your skillet that way. So we're going to get these in here for the, actually, Yeah, we're going to get these in here for the cabbage. And while I chop up the garlic and get all of this started to sweat down. Let's see. Turn you guys a little bit. Get that started, and I season all parts of my cooking process. Because you don't want to lose any flavor, and it's a lot easier to measure. It's a lot easier to measure how much seasoning you put in your food when you season every stage. So put the salt on here to help render it a little bit. Some black pepper. Just a little bit of black pepper. That was probably about a teaspoon of salt and a half a teaspoon of black pepper. We're going to get that sweating down, and we're going to move on to my cheat garlic. Garlic that I do not have to peel. Which I'll probably be getting this more and more, and the other garlic a little bit less until my schedule with the baby, with the new baby, lightens up. I'm still gonna cook. We don't eat fast food, like I say, so I cook every day. I haven't had the chance to meal prep. I know y'all are gonna say, you know, you need to meal prep and make your job lighter, but circumstances have not allowed me to be able to do that. So you got to work with what you got. Do what you can. And I smash my garlic because it gives it, it smashes some of that good garlic oils out of the garlic, and it makes it a lot more aromatic and flavorful. Alright, so we just give that a rough chop and get that on in there. I'm going to turn my fire up to medium, which is straight down at the bottom. It's a number 5 for me. Give that a little zhuzh. That is not going to be enough garlic for me. Probably going to wind up putting garlic powder and onion powder in it anyway. And you just flatten it with the side of your knife. Give it a rough chop, and you can well, I give it a rough chop because I love to get some nice sauteed, cooked down and rendered garlic in my bites. Some people may not like garlic the way I do, so if you don't, you will want to chop up your garlic a lot more fine than I do. Okay, so you see how those look? They don't have to, you don't have to saute them any more than that because they're going to cook in the cabbage. I'm going to saute my cabbage. Well, am I going to saute it? Yeah, I'm going to saute it partially, and then I'll cover it with a little bit of chicken broth and cut it down and let it simmer. So that's that. I'm just going to leave that going for just a little bit so I can put some oil in my pan, in my pot for my black eyed peas, so I can render some some vegetables for that. Normally if I was going to make my vegetables the same size for each dish, I would just saute them all together in the same pot. But since they're going to be different sizes, I don't want large vegetables in my black eyed peas, and I don't want the teeny tiny vegetables in my cabbage. So, cooking on a budget. You can't afford to throw away stuff. I grew up in the hood, and so my mom, when I was younger, I used to be like, oh, I don't want that, but the food tastes delicious. And if you just peel off the bad parts, it's good under there. And then you can chop that up and use it. But anyway, let me give this a wash. And what you want to do is you want to soak your cabbage in a little bit of salt water and vinegar. Let's see. And the way I cut my cabbage, I cut it just like I cut an apple pretty much. The heart right here is very hard in the center. And so some people cook that anyway, but it cooks a lot longer, and it makes the rest of the cabbage a little bit more tender than you want, because you have to cook the heart so long. So you can cook it if you want to, but I figure if you're going to do that, you would want to maybe put this in first and then put the rest in later so that they can be the same done. Let's see, like here's still a little bit of cabbage that I don't want, so we're just going to cut that off. There we go. See? Now this is when I'm just only cooking for me and my daughter. Of course, if I'm having someone over, we're not going to use any of this stuff. When you're entertaining, the rules change a little bit. You don't ever want to do this if you're entertaining. Okay, so this is ready to go in the pot. We're going to throw this in. So I'm just going to long slice it and throw it in there. So I'm going to slice it this way. And I slice it fairly thin and just stick it in there. You see that? I slice it fairly thin and just stick it in the pot. I'm going to do the same thing with this. And I'm cutting it about a 1/2 inch thick. Slide your knife under there so you can pick it all up together nice and easily. Put that right on in the pot right next to it. All of this is going in the pool also. So now I want to throw my season over the top of this. Some nature seasoning. I put a good amount of nature seasoning, probably about 1.5 tablespoons. Some Tony Chachere's Creole seasoning, and this is the nature seasoning. I swear by this. This is very, very good. I swear by this. Get you some and check out the ingredients on there. It's good on almost everything. And anyway, you can't go wrong with Tony Chachere's. I guess that's how you say that. The Creole seasoning. I don't put a whole lot of this because it is a little spicy, and I'm cooking for me and my 5-year-old. So I'll just put a little bit for taste. That's probably about a teaspoon. Then some good old Lawry's. This Lawry's seasoning salt. This smells delicious. That's about a little bit more than a teaspoon. Like I said, I'm going to put a little bit extra onion powder on here. That's about a tablespoon. Alright. That oil is hot enough in the back for the black-eyed peas. For the vegetables, for the black-eyed peas. So we'll get that on in the skillet. And I love lots of vegetables in my black-eyed. Oh my God, that smells so good. That bacon grease, y'all, smells so good. If y'all don't save your bacon grease, please start. And listen to how those vegetables just steam in that skillet. I'm going to give that a good zhuzh. Y'all see? You might can't see. I'm going to give that a good stirring, a good mixing around, so everything gets coated with the oil. Okay. I'm going to get and when I season my vegetables, I only use white salt. I really can't even tell you why. It just, the white salt does the vegetables better, in my opinion. So let me get a top for this one. She's ready to simmer. And with that little bit of oil in there, the water from the cabbage and the vegetables, well, you know, the steam is what's going to help cook that. We're rendering these. Ooh, it smells so good, Lord Jesus. So, black-eyed pea pot, cabbage pot. While these vegetables for the black-eyed peas are rendering. Oh, I want to chop up a piece of celery to cook with my black-eyed peas. Celery is a very good flavor for black-eyed peas, for seasoning. So, I think I'm going to chop up one full stalk. Of course, you have to cut off this. Let me go rinse this off. And I'm going to chop this up and put it in there. And this is not, like, I'm not a chef or anything like that. Like I say, I'm just a mom who loves to cook delicious, healthy food for my baby cake. So I want to cut off this end. You know, it comes pre-cut, but it looks a little gnarly. So I like to cut that off, and then I cut the white end off. Some people cook with the white end. And I'm not going to cut the whole white end off, but I'm going to cut part of it off. Part of this end off. Throw that away. And then I like to slice it down the middle. Just use the tip of your blade, just like this, and pull it forward. And then I'll just chop these pretty fine. And I think I'm gonna slice this piece down the middle. Again, I want them small. I don't like I say, I don't like the vegetables to be big in my black-eyed peas. Alright, let's see. That's small enough. So, about this size for my black-eyed peas. Okay, now we're gonna get these in the pot. Stir that together. I'm going to cut this front pot down to mid-low. I don't feel like it doesn't look like I put any pepper in this one. So I'll put about a half a teaspoon of pepper in there. And let that render a little bit. Now I'll put my rice in. That'll be one. Let's see. This is a 2/3 cup. So I did one of those. I'm actually going to do 2/3 cups of rice.
Mommy,
yes.
Trash.
Oh yes, honey, thank you.
I want to clean this place.
Oh, thank you, my love. And so this is the rice that I use, and I get the huge one because we eat lots and lots of rice. I only buy jasmine rice. It may not be this brand all the time if I can't get to that the store that I buy this from, which I think I got this one from Walmart. Let's see. It doesn't say, but I think I got this one from Walmart. So if I can't get to Walmart, then I think Walmart is the only place that I found where I live that has this huge size. And we go through, like, we eat rice with everything, so we go through rice fairly quickly. But if I can't get that size, then I'll get the other size, the smaller size. Gotta wash off the tops of these cans. I always wash off the tops of my cans because they've been sitting God knows where with whatever is crawling from God knows where, and I don't want any of that getting into my food. And again, when you when you use this kind of can opener, you want to push down on the handle. Whew. So that it doesn't pop off. Like if you don't push down on the handle, like I used to push up a little bit for some reason, and then it pops off.
I bet you want this in the trash.
What, baby? What is that? Let mommy see. No, that tells me how to use my clicker.
Oh.
See how that came off? So you don't want to push up on the handle. You want to push down on the handle, and that'll keep it engaged with the can. Alright, so we got those open. I want to rinse the liquid in this can off of this, and I replace it with my own liquid. When I use canned vegetables and stuff, I don't use their liquid. I make my own liquid. Give them a rinse. These in the trash. Alright. They look nice and fresh. Try to let that drip so I don't take a black-eyed pea water across my floor. We're going to bring this back over to the pot. Throw that right on in there. I want to mix that up and get the vegetables off the bottom. Oh, that smells good already. Goodness. Goodness, goodness, goodness. So since that doesn't have any liquid on it, I got to put some liquid on it. So I'm going to do water. I'll take this back over here. Throw some water in there. And I have a purifier on my tap, which is the water that I use to cook with. And let's see. I love my pot liquor. So I want my beans covered almost to the top where you can see the juice floating in between them at the top, because it's going to cook down a little bit. And you want enough pot liquor in there so you can soak your bread down in that good juice. And you don't want to just add regular old water. You want to do either chicken broth or you want to put some bouillon in it, which is what I'm about to do. And this bouillon that I use is very flavorful, and it's already salty. Oh. So you don't need to add any salt at all when you're using this kind. This is very, very good. So now that I have, let me see. I need something to stir that with. Now that I have my black-eyed peas in, I still need a little bit more water in there. I'll put some nature seasoning in. And nature seasoning is mostly pepper, garlic, onion, celery, and let's see. We can read it together. It's salt, black pepper, sugar, spices, naturally onion flavor, garlic, parsley, celery. So it's basically the same vegetables that I put in there. So it just enhances the flavor a lot. Like I said, you don't need to put any salt at all in there using the bouillon that I use. And I have my vegetables in there. Salt, pepper. Sometimes you can throw a little cumin in, but I don't think I'm going to do that today. I'm going to let it simmer down. And I'll taste it in a little bit to see if I need to add any more seasoning to it. I'm going to fetch a top. Fetch a top for that bad boy. I want it to come back up to a slow boil. Don't throw away anything, honey, unless I say that you can throw it away, okay?
Okay.
I want to bring that up to a slow boil before I put the top on. So we're going to let that sit. I'm going to put my water in here in my rice. So when I cook my rice, Some people do the put your finger in there method and they measure it to the first line in your finger. I don't do that. I do rice. I do 2 parts water to 1 part rice. That's how I do mine. So that's how I measure if there's enough water in the pot. And sometimes I like to kind of wash my rice, put a little water in there and stir it around and then pour that water off and put some fresh water on there. So that's what I'm about to do now. I'm just pouring this water off. And putting some fresh clean water on. All right, we're going to cut that all the way up to high so we can bring that up to a boil quickly. And then once it starts to boil, I'll cut it all the way down to low, put the top on, and let that cook. Oh, my cabbage. I forgot my carrots, y'all. I got to cut up my carrots to put in my cabbage. She's Louise. And y'all, if y'all hear me huffing and puffing, just please bear with me. I'm going through, doing the best I can. Cooking a good meal. Maybe my last meal before labor. I don't know. We'll see. For some reason, I just want to rinse these carrots off. So I'll do that and be right back. So I just want to cut these carrots on a diagonal twice. These are the organic baby carrots. I want to cut them on a diagonal twice. Once, twice, and that's what's going in the pot. Once, twice. And I just cut them on a diagonal because it looks better. Whew. I'm feeling a little faint. Alright, we got that. The black-eyed peas are boiling. Oh, and I just want to share with you guys, this is the brand of soap that I use and cleaning supplies. My household is non-toxic. I don't use any toxic anything to wash dishes or clothes or anything else. It smells so good. This might not have been a good idea, y'all. My baby told me don't do it, but I was determined, and I'm gonna have to go get a chair because I'm feeling a little faint and like my chest is hurting a little bit. I think I'm just doing a little bit much. So I'm gonna put these carrots in here, then I'm gonna pause for a second and go get me a chair.
I got it on there.
Oh, thank you, my angel.
I might as well do it if I'm still working.
Yeah. Alright. So we got those cabbage in there. Cabbage. We got the carrots in the cabbage. And I want to season.
Here you go.
Put some seasoning on the carrots also. Just throw a little bit extra seasoning on top of the carrots. I want everything to be flavorful. Alright. Let's see how tender this is. This is boiling, my rice. So we're going to cut that all the way down to low for just a second. Oh yeah, that's quite tender. So I'm just gonna get these carrots down in here. I'm gonna pour a little Worcestershire sauce on top of that. And that'll be done as soon as the carrots are tender. Thank you, my darling.
My work is never done.
That's right. A girl's work is never done, my baby said.
No, my work is never done because I'm keep finding a way to keep helping.
Oh, you're such a good baby, honey.
And the next thing I'm going to do is drag this seed into this real closet. Okay?
Do what, baby?
I'm going to drag this car seat into this closet.
No, honey. No, no, no. Don't do that. Don't do that. Put it back where it was. Okay, y'all. I got me a seat, a chair, because I needed it. Whew. All right. We can get through this. Okay. So. Whew. All right, so this rice is calmed down enough where I can put the top on there for it not to bubble over. My carrots are in my pot, seasoned, and oh shoot, I should have put the sweet potatoes on first, y'all, because the longer they sit in the sauce and the butter, the better they taste. So these are going to be better tomorrow than they will be today, because they need to, once you put the stuff on and they're tender, they need to sit in the butter, cinnamon, and nutmeg and vanilla. They need to sit in there for about, I would say, at least 30 minutes. To let them soak up all of those good flavors inside of the baked potato, and brown sugar and a little bit of salt. So anyway, I'm going to skin these and I'll be right back. Okay, y'all, I decided to chop these in front of you because some people don't know that with sweet potatoes, it's not just the skin that you need to cut off. I'll show you why. Okay. All right, so you see this white stuff? Let me get a spot where I've cut down far enough so you can see the difference. All right. You see, this is more orange, and this has a little bit of white color to it. That white color is very stringy. It's very stringy. So with sweet potatoes, it's not like a regular potato. You rather cut off a little bit too much than not enough, because you do not want your sweet potatoes stringy. So to get rid of the stringiness, you have to cut past this white chalky looking area to where it is nice and evenly orange. So I'll peel these. Lord Jesus. Oh, I'm gonna get closer so I don't have sweet potato everywhere. Baby, come here.
Okay.
Let's see. So, how do you feel about being a big sister?
I feel very proud.
Here, tell the people.
I feel very proud that I'm gonna be a big sister. I feel very proud that I'm gonna be a big sister. I don't know when though, but I'm very excited. I've been telling my mama, please, when are you gonna have a baby? From when I was 2. And finally had a baby sister, so I'm very glad about this. And my mommy, it looks like she's gonna have the baby tomorrow.
Well, we'll see. I don't know if I'm going to have it tomorrow or not, but she feels like she's coming soon.
Very soon.
So,
I feel very good about this.
So, the baby, this will be the last few days. I'm guessing if the baby comes like I think she will. Oh, shoot. This will be the last few days of you being the only baby. You know that?
Yeah.
How you feel about that?
I feel very sad.
You feel sad that you're not going to be the only baby anymore?
Yeah.
Why?
Because then the baby get more and more attention, right?
No, honey. The baby doesn't get more attention. The baby will need more help, but we'll both be loving on the baby and doing stuff for the baby. You and me will still have our time, and when the baby's sleeping, for sure. And then when the baby's up, then we'll all get to hang together. It just means our family is getting bigger, right?
I feel very proud that I'm gonna get it to be a big sister.
Don't touch the camera, honey.
I'm very proud that I'm gonna be a big sister, because if I get it to be a big sister, her family grows. So I love it. So bye.
Give me a kiss. I love you. Kiss my. I'm gonna get lipstick on you. Give me a kiss. Oh!
Just trying to get it.
Uh-oh. I snatched you guys down. Oh. Let me get you back up there. Okay. Now, would you say you wanted to watch, honey? Inspector Gadget? Huh?
No. I want to watch this. No.
That? Okay. Hopefully I cut the TV down enough this time where you guys can't hear it. And I like to peel with my knife. It just feels better to me. I like to peel with my knife. I love to use my knife. Especially when it's sharpened correctly. You want to get any brown spots off, and most definitely any pieces of white that are on there. Because you do not, stringy sweet potatoes are not good. You can't chew it, and it's almost impossible to swallow. Okay, there's like a little brownness or something right there. So I'm just going to carve that out. All right, 2 down, 1 to go. And when you use the knife a lot, you can really control the thickness or thinness of how you're slicing your skins off. Like, I just sharpened it, so I'm getting used to how it cuts again. But I can peel an apple with this knife, even as big as it is, and just only get the skin. So the more you do anything, they say practice makes perfect. I beg to differ. Practice makes improvement. I was taught that as a child by the etiquette class that I was in. They taught us that practice does not make perfect, because nobody is ever going to be perfect at anything. You're always going to make a mistake. There'll always be something you can learn, but practice will definitely make improvement. And you always want to improve and better your best. And as an adult, I still live by that. Like I say, I just turned 41 on the 13th, and I still live by that. That is a very good rule to live by. And of course, I teach my daughter that. I'll be teaching both of my daughters that. So right now, I'm just getting all of the white parts off. You might feel like you're cutting off too much potato, but trust me, you are not. You want that off. You do not want that in your pot. And I am, you'll probably hear me say this all the time, I am super conservative on food and throwing stuff away. So I try to use as much as I can. All right. Whew. So those are done. And mommies, listen, I know it's hard sometimes, and you don't have time or energy, and you don't feel like doing stuff, or you just physically can't do it. But it's something about that mommy strength that hits different. I have more strength as a mommy than I have ever had. And I have always been a very strong individual. I'm going to cut this way down, and I want to cut those beans way down. The beans really don't have to cook much. I just want the flavor to cook in. And my my rice, I like it white. Rare occasions, I'll season my rice and put butter and soy, or chicken broth. I'll boil it with chicken broth instead of water. Or just a lot of different ways. There's a Goya seasoning that I'll use, but most typically I like it just white. Plain white jasmine yummy rice. And my daughter likes it that way too. Okay, now so when I cut these up, I want to cut them small so that they cook quick. I boil them first in salty water, and I want to cut them up smaller so that they cook quicker. So I'm just going to chop them this way. My grandmother used to chop them in half and then chop the half in half again, and she would put them in like that. I love them like that because you can easily put 2 or 3 on your plate. It looks better, or I don't know if it looks better, but it's a variation, so you don't have the same thing looking the same way all the time. But for tonight, I want this stuff to, I'm going to have to stand up to be over this to do this. But I want this stuff to go ahead and cook and be done. Another thing you can do is just make a mash out of it. And that way you don't have to worry about waiting for the seasoning to get down in the potato. If you make a mash out of it, obviously that mixes all the flavors right into the flesh of the vegetable. Okay, I put a generous amount of my purified water. in this pot, because you want your potatoes completely covered. I'm gonna let it boil on high so that it cooks quickly. And I want it as salty as the sea because sweet potatoes, just like a sweet potato pie, and peach cobbler, and most things like that, pecan pie and stuff, you have to put salt in your, even though it's a sweet dish, you have to put a little bit of salt in there or it does not taste right. That salt brings it up, enhances all of those good flavors for you. And no matter how much good sugar and cinnamon and brown sugar and butter and stuff you put in it, it's always gonna taste a little bland, or at least it does to me. And so that good salt is the key. So I want to let that water boil right quick before I put those potatoes in. And then I'll put them in and let them get soft. I'll test it with a fork. If the fork goes in easy, fairly easy, then that means that they are ready to be cut off because they're going to continue to cook. You cut them off, pour the boiling water off of it. Then you add your butter and sugar, cinnamon, vanilla, and still just a light sprinkle of salt, because if you put enough salt in your water, the salt will boil through the potatoes and give it a good salty flavor anyway. So I'm rocking. That's about to come to a boil in a minute. The rice is ready, and I'm gonna mix up this cabbage. Let me do that right now. Oh yeah. I'll bring you in for that so you can see it. So you can see it. All right. Look at all that good juice down in there, and that's just from the liquid from the cabbage. And it's just me and the baby, so I'm not gonna cook just a whole lot. I cook enough for us to eat on, usually for 2 meals. Oh, that looks and smells. Jeez Louise, that smells so good. All right, I'm gonna stir my black eyed peas. Okay, so for me, when I cook, I use my nose to be able to tell if it needs something. So I definitely smell that it needs some onion powder. Yep, it needs some onion powder. So I'm going to put about a tablespoon of onion powder in there. It needs a little bit of garlic powder. For some reason, I keep saying the word powder, and Wyclef's song, what song is that where he says gunpowder? The one where he's talking about going away until May, but he'll be back. That's on his Carnival CD. That's one of my very favorite CDs. I'm going to put about I love garlic. I guess for people who are not garlic lovers, I would recommend about a teaspoon of garlic powder. But I love garlic, so I'm going to put about a tablespoon of garlic powder. That is about a tablespoon of garlic powder. We're going to stir that in. Let those, ooh, see that smells, yeah, that's right. And so these black-eyed peas, I'm going to put the rice down on the plate. Put the black-eyed peas on top of it. Put the sweet potatoes on the side. And this cabbage. And this is our meatless meal. It has sweet and savory for your palate. I cooked it with the renderings of meat rather than meat itself. And so it'll have a meatish flavor. If you're trying to cut down on your meat, we're going to cut that rice off. This water is not quite boiling. It's about to come to a boil. And I'll get, excuse me, I have, if you guys have never been pregnant or you haven't been around pregnant people, we have horrible gas. So we probably burp. Excuse us. Let me say excuse me for all of us. That's pretty impolite, but what you gonna do, right? So anyway, this is our dinner for tonight. I want to eat real good because the baby has been she's been pushing everything out of me. And you can, that may be TMI for a cooking show, I don't know, but I'm talking about pregnancy and cooking at the same time. Now that I'm thinking about it, that may not be a good idea. But anyway, I got to get my cornbread together as soon as I sit here and get my breath and make sure I don't pass out on you guys. So anyway, this water is about to come to a boil. This is probably all but ready. My black-eyed peas are probably all but ready. They just need to simmer in the seasoning to make sure that all the seasoning gets good and through your food. If you cook this and you put it on your plate and it doesn't taste right, it's because you didn't let it simmer long enough. The secret to making your food flavorful is, first of all, seasoning well. That's the very first thing. Second of all, you cannot be shy to season your food. But second of all, it has to, just because your food is tender enough to eat doesn't mean that it's flavorful enough to eat. So the trick is always low and slow, low and slow. So once you get it to a good boil, which is why I get it to a good boil first, get it nice and hot, then you cut the fire down, put the top on, and it'll steam and cook slowly. So it'll give all the good flavor a chance to marry into whatever it is that you're cooking and make every bite nice and flavorful. Like if you don't have any pot liquor on your spoon or on your fork or whatever utensil, chopsticks, whatever utensil you like to eat with, if you don't have any pot liquor or broth or whatever you want to call it on your whatever you're eating with, the bean itself or whatever food you're cooking itself is going to be full of flavor. And that is because you've seasoned it well and because you've cooked it long enough, low and slow, so that it does not overcook, but it does absorb the flavors. So now for this cornbread. This is boiling, so we're going to throw these in the pot and get this cornbread together. Ooh. Let's get these in there. Ooh, first. Alright, so we got that on. The water is nice and salty. The water is a little high, so I'm going to have to watch it. But I want to leave it on high to boil so that it boils quickly. So in the meantime, let's get out a mixing bowl so that I can make this cornbread and cut this oven on 350. All right. Let me take these cuttings off of here. So, again with the Jiffy cornbread. It is my go-to cornbread when I'm not making scratch. And again, I can never do this with my finger. Ever, ever, ever. I guess this supposed perforation is just a suggestion of where you should cut it. Whew. Because it's surely not for easy opening. Okay, let's peel that all the way back. Dump all of that right on in there. I'm just doing 2 boxes of cornbread this time. Whew. Whew. And this is in the place of fast food or frozen foods. And stuff like that. I have dried black eyed peas, which I prefer to cook the dried ones in my crock pot. But like I say, I'm about to have this baby in a minute, and I want to preserve my energy as much as possible, but I still want to cook a full meal. So I used two boxes of cornbread, so I'm going to use an egg for each box. 1 egg for each box. And again, I don't buy any just regular eggs. If I'm going to cook the eggs in something, I do buy the cage-free. The cage-free eggs. But if I'm going to make scrambled eggs or an omelet or something like that, I only use the range-free Vital Farms eggs. And as you can see, these eggs are more yellowish. Let's see if I can get you guys, get that in the camera. Yeah, these eggs are more yellowish. The more healthy the egg is, the more healthy the chicken is that's laying the eggs, the more orange the yolk is going to be. And the thicker the yolk is going to be. I mean, not the yolk, but the white is going to be. You can tell the difference in consistency. You can tell the difference in color. And I can personally smell the difference. in the eggs. So, and anyway, since I have 2 boxes of cornbread again, I'm gonna use a 1/3 cup of milk for each box of Jiffy cornbread. And Jiffy is already sweet, but so I like my cornbread a little bit extra sweet most of the time. Sometimes I don't, but my baby likes it sweet, but I want it sweet. I had made it sweet last time, and I couldn't really decide whether I wanted cornbread or if I wanted hot water cornbread. But I think I'm going to do this one. And I don't know if I want to cook it in my cast iron skillet or this glass dish. I think we're going to do the glass dish this time. And I'll do, next time I make it, I'll make it in my cast iron skillet. Ooh. So, let's see, let's get this on. Let me get my sugar. And I use so much coconut oil that I keep my containers. I'm big on recycling, and I don't have a car, and there's not a recycling facility that I can get to. So I try to recycle as much as I can. So like my grocery bags, I use them as trash cans in my small trash cans. And these, since I buy so many, I save them, and they are my sugar, flour, and whatever else containers. So this is my sugar, and I use, this is pure cane sugar. It's not white sugar or anything else. It's 100% pure cane sugar. So that's why it is brownish. It's not exactly white. Sugar is not supposed to be white. Sugar is not supposed to be white. If it's white, that means that it is bleached, and they try to bleach it to bleach out the impurities that they put in with it, so it's all one uniform color and it looks more pleasing to the eye, so they can sell it. So I don't want you selling me a bunch of mess and bleaching it to make it look like it's all right. I want it to actually be all right. Because again, more toxins and more bad things that you put in your body, the worse your body performs. Oh, I'm just gonna, I should have mixed this sugar in first, but we're just gonna make it work. That's what we're gonna do. I blame it on mommy brain and tiredness and a lot of pressure in the bottom of my tummy. All right, so the sugar is in there enough, and 2/3 cup of milk, and I'm just eyeballing it because I know what the consistency I want my bread to be. So, and when you're making cornbread and cake, you do not want to over manipulate. I'm gonna have to stand up. You do not want to over manipulate your mixture, because you want to definitely break the eggs up and get everything nice and incorporated, but you don't want to over mix it because it becomes it's not as light. So you want to mix it just until it's nice and uniform, and then leave it alone. Same thing with pancake batter. You don't want to over mix it. And you're not going to be able to get out every single lump. That is okay. the rice off. This cabbage is low and slow simmering. The black eyed peas are low and slow simmering. I'm going to just run this spoon across the bottom of the pot to make sure that nothing is sticking and everything is mixed up very well. I'm going to taste this with my nose, which means I'm just going to smell it and see if it smells like what I want it to smell like. Oh, that smells good. Alright, I think these sweet potatoes are nice and tender. Yep, that's good enough. Let me poke a few of them. Yep. So those are tender enough. Let me show you. It goes in there very easily. That's going straight in there. So those are ready to come off, be strained. So I'm just going to pour the water off of those and I'll be right back. Alright, so I poured the water off of that. I'm going to put it back on the stove. I'm going to put white sugar, brown sugar. And so my grandmother, when she taught me how to cook these, she taught me that a lot of people think that butter is what makes the juice on your sweet potatoes. Not so. Sugar is what makes the juice on your sweet potatoes. So you want to sugar them, you want to coat them really good with sugar. And this is like my turbinado, my pure cane sugar. I'll do it with that. And then I'll get my brown sugar, cinnamon, nutmeg, and vanilla. I'll grab that and I'll be right back. Alright, so just shake up my brown sugar so it's not so clumpy, because I want to get some on all of my I have to do it with my hands. I want to get some on all of my potatoes because I want it to soak into each one, and I don't want to have to stir it too much because I don't want to break up the shape of the potatoes. I just want to make sure that each one is super duper ooper flavorful, full of good flavor. I'm gonna have to sweep this floor and mop it like crazy as soon as I'm done cooking. Alright, so that good brown sugar is gonna make that taste like heaven in a pot. Now for my cinnamon. This is the cinnamon that I use. And I just want to do a good dusting over every single piece of potato, or sweet potato. And then I want to let some, and I can't tell you exactly how much cinnamon to put on there because it depends on how many potatoes that you cut up. So the rule of thumb for me is I just want to put a good dusting over each and every sweet potato. Because again, you don't want to over manipulate it so that it becomes a mush. And you just want that to cook slow. But for nutmeg, you don't ever want to hardly put more than a teaspoon, and less than that for the amount. Probably about a half a teaspoon for the amount of sweet potatoes that I have. This is just generic nutmeg. And I almost put almond in there. I don't want almond, I want vanilla. Alright, and I use pure vanilla extract, but vanilla flavoring is very good in your sweet potatoes also. The extract is alcohol based, so you don't want to put too much of that. You want to put about a teaspoon or a half a teaspoon. About a half a teaspoon for the amount of sweet potatoes that I have. And then butter. So I use real butter. A lot of cooks say do not use salted butter. I use salted butter because that's what I like. Ouch. Again, I like salt. I don't eat a lot of, you know, bad stuff. But salt is definitely my guilty pleasure. So that's what I want. I eat. I drink lots and lots of, I drink mostly water. Very little juice, but if I drink juice, it's either a smoothie or 100% juice, which is mostly Simply brand, or what is that one? Let me see. I'll show you guys. Hold on. Let me get this butter in here in this pot. So for about this much sweet potatoes, those you saw the size of the 3 sweet potatoes that I cut up. How much of this butter do I want to use? Let's see. I want to use about 6 teaspoons. See that? About 6 teaspoons of butter. So I'm going to cut it there and put that in my pot. And then go on about my cornbread. Peel that right off of there. Put that right on in there. And I'll cover it and let it do what it does. Generally, it's nice to cut it up into cubes and just place it all around the pot so that it can, when it melts, it just melts down kind of evenly through there. But once it melts, I'm going to, you know, zhuzh the pot around and let it boil down in there. So it will be just fine. Alright, so we're going to put the lid on that baby. Cut it up to about medium low, or what I call medium low. It's on that 2, or that would be 9 o'clock on the clock. 9 o'clock on your dial. To let it, well, cut it up a little bit more. To let this get nice and hot and simmer on the bottom. This rice is done. I'm just letting it sit on that eye. Let it stay warm. This is done. My black eyed peas are done, and they are all just simmering. So while that's doing that, I'm gonna go ahead, put some butter in this dish. Put about a tablespoon of butter in there. Throw this in my preheated oven. Put this light on. We're going to let that butter melt, get nice and hot, and aluminum does not hold heat at all. Heat transfers through aluminum, so it is never actually hot. So that's why I was able to reach into that hot stove and take that off of there. All right, so after that butter gets nice and hot in there. I mean, some people just let it melt, but I like my butter to get really hot because I like the edges of my cornbread to be a little bit crispy and a little bit more brown. And then I like the center of my cornbread to be golden. So that's how I like mine. And I don't cook it like that all the time. Sometimes I cook it where it's, you know, evenly cooked all the way through, where it's nice and soft all the way around. But, you know, I like variations of stuff, like you'll probably hear me say a lot. Variety is the spice of life. So I'm gonna let that melt, get hot, clean up a little bit, and I'll see you back in just a sec. All right, you guys, so this butter is melted. Scoop that. Snatch this out of here. Make sure I get this pot holder to where I don't touch any parts of this glass. Sit that right there for a second. I just want to roll that around a little bit. Roll that butter around. But when I pour the batter in there, it'll automatically make it spread. Uh-oh. Oh. She is pushing. Oh. She is pushing. Okay. When I sit down, she is going to put on a full circus. I promise you. I might record it and put some clips in here for y'all. All right, so this has been sitting while the butter was getting hot. Just want to give it a quick stir. Get all of my cornbread off of there. Grab my rubber spatula. Y'all know I don't like to leave anything in my utensils and in my pot. I want it all. So we're gonna put my mixing dish. I want it all cooked so it can get in my belly. All right, so got my good old trusty rubber spatula. Our good old hot butter. And we're just gonna pour this right on in there. And see how I pour that in there and that butter. I don't know if you can see that, but I'll show you in a second. That butter just automatically spreads to the perimeter. And I just want to spray all of that goodness down. And just like a cake, you want to try to stay away from the sides of your baking dish. You don't want to pour any of the stuff on the sides of your baking dish. Alright, it's good and clean. Alright. Then we want to get this right back into that hot oven. And instead of me just trying to slide it in there, pull the rack out. It's just easier. You don't want to accidentally hit your hand on the top element or anything, or touch anything that is hot in there. Trying to skip a step or whatever. Just pull the thing out. Pull the shelf out. Put your stuff on there and slide that shelf right back in. Alright, I taste those black-eyed peas, y'all. And they are to die for. To die for. So, oh, let me show you these sweet potatoes. So that butter has melted in there. See how that butter is, oh, that smells so good. And all of these different smells, y'all. It just smells, it smells like something you want to eat. I mean, like, for real. So, that's nice and bubbly in there. Yep. And so I just kind of, what I do is I just kind of tilt the pot and let that juice roll around to all of it. And just kind of manipulate that juice to where it'll run across the top of all of that all of those sweet potatoes. You can gently take like a spatula or a big spoon and flip it, which is what my grandmother used to do, to make sure that the ones that's been sitting in the juice on the bottom, you flip them so the ones at the top, on the top, can sit on the bottom in the juice as well, so that they all get the good juice cooked down into them. But I'll do that in a minute. But anyway, I'm gonna let that sit. I'm gonna let my cornbread get a tan, and I'm gonna sit down and catch my breath, and I'll be back when this stuff is ready. I'll make a plate for you guys, and we will have a little taste and see. So I hope you guys have enjoyed so far, past my huffing and puffing and what have you. So I'll be back in a sec. Alright, you guys, so I got cleaned up a little bit, and I'm going to cut up my cucumber, some red onion, and tomato to go over my black-eyed peas. So let's do that. My onion, and I'm going to cut up enough to where I'm just going to cover it and put it in a bowl on in the refrigerator, so it'll already be cut up for tomorrow. And my onion, I don't really want to cut it up small. I want probably about inch size cuts of onion. So this is a small red onion, so I just cut off the ends, cut it into 3 and cut it into thirds, and then I'm just gonna cut it with the grain. If you can see those lines that go up, these are the lines I'm gonna cut it along now. And I wanted to share this. I don't know if you guys scrub your sink out, but I always put soap in my sink and scrub it out and keep my sink clean, especially when well, I do it all the time, but I would especially recommend it if you didn't want to do it all the time when you're getting ready to cook, because especially if you have to drain something will always fall into the sink, and then you don't want to have to throw that away. You want your sink to be clean enough to where you can put that back in your pot. At least I do. And so that's not the only reason I clean my sink, but that is one good reason that I clean my sink. I also clean my sink. I just like my sink clean. I don't like germs sitting around, and I don't want anything growing on my nothing. So I try to keep everything clean, but I definitely scrub my sink out with my scrub brush that I just scrub my dishes with. I put soap in there, scrub really good, even down to the rubber part that goes down into your garbage disposal. I even scrub that. But anyway, so much for that. So I'm about to cut up a piece of this cucumber. I'm gonna cut off about as much as I feel like I want to eat, or I want to put in my mixture. And I'm gonna just like stripe this. I don't want all the skin on, but I surely don't want all the skin off, because the skin is very healthy for you. And if I were just gonna like eat this with, like, sometimes I eat cucumbers with my noodles or with a sandwich or different stuff, I'll just bite down into a cucumber the same way I would a pickle. And I just cut those very thin, almost paper thin. I just barely want to take those off, and when you do it like that, to me it looks better in the bowl. It's just presentation. And I don't know, do I want slices? I think I want halves, so I'm gonna slice that in half, long way, and then I'll just cut them like that. If I were, sometimes I'll just leave it round and just cut round pieces, or sometimes I'll cut it into fourths, cut it in half, and then cut the half in half again and do it like that. But I don't want them that small this time. I want nice, good bites. And so I cut them about 1/2 inch thick. Let's see if I can get that closer to you so you can see it. See that? I cut it about 1/2 inch thick. It smells so good. So, it's delicious. I'm just gonna throw it into this bowl. Yeah, I love me some cucumber water. If y'all have never had cucumber water, throw my red onions in there. Oh. I'm an onion girl. Depends on how much you like onions. You might not want that many onions. And then just cut the little booty off of here. And let me see, how do I want to do that? I'll dice it kind of big. So I cut this way first. See how big that is? That's about 1/2 inch. And then you cut it the other way, tic-tac-toe style. And then you just want to lay it on its side and cut like this. And you need a sharp knife for this for sure. And then once I get down to there, I just have to cut around the part that was attached to the vine, because that part is a little bit hard. I love tomatoes too. All right, just throw that in there. And I'll throw some nature seasoning. See how this is, mix this up so you can see all the goodness. I'll throw some black pepper and nature seasoning on there. And you eat that with your black-eyed peas and rice, man. That's some kind of good, I promise you. I would not steer you wrong. That is some kind of good. And I'm just going to put some nature seasoning on top of here. And remember, you're not just seasoning what's on top. You want to, when you mix it up, you want the seasoning to be able to season everything. So you kind of want to dust the top twice. And I like black pepper, so if it were just me, I'd put even more black pepper on top of here. But my baby may be eating this too, sans the onion. But yeah, that's gonna be some good stuff to go on top of that, on top of those black-eyed peas. Now let's see what this. Let's see what this. Cornbread is doing. So it's not quite ready yet. Not quite ready at all. It's got a good little ways to go. So we're gonna let that continue to cook. And when that is done, unless somehow I think of something else I need to do, I'll show you guys. I'll do that, and then I'll come back in just a second. I'll let my little one in my tummy rest. I'll sit down and chill out for a minute. Give her a chance to settle down. Well, no, I lied. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to sit down for a second, but I'm going to finish cleaning up. Because once I'm done eating, that depletes all of my energy. And I just get, I mean, y'all might think I'm exaggerating when I say it's like narcolepsy, but it's like narcolepsy, and there's nothing I can do about it. So I'm going to get the house ready for us to go to sleep. While this cornbread cooks, clean up my kitchen. And obviously I'm going to have to do that pretty quickly, because I don't think that's going to take more than 10 or 15 more minutes to cook. So I'll do that, and I'll be back with you guys as soon as that is done. I tasted my cabbage when I went off just a second ago. Ooh, y'all, it's so good. Oh, let me show you the sweet potatoes. So I thought I was gonna have to turn my sweet potatoes, you know, like I was saying, my grandmother used to, you know, well, I guess not just my grandmother, but anybody who wants their sweet potatoes to be well and coated. You know, turn the ones from the bottom. You flip them to where they're on top, and let the ones on the top get a little chance to soak. But I like to just do this first. Just roll the juice around the pot and let it roll across the top of the potatoes. And then I'll flip them. I think that could be best done with the spatula. And I'm going to do it with this rubber spatula, because I feel like it'll be a lot more gentle with my potatoes, so that they don't, since they're so soft, so that they do not break. I want them to just keep the shape just because it looks better on the plate, you know. So we are just going to flip that over. See, they're breaking up. I hate flipping them. But that is going to be some kind of good. I've seen people put orange flavoring in their sweet potatoes, and I just have not tried that yet. It's probably good. I've seen people put lemon flavoring in their sweet potatoes. I just have not tried that. Maybe it's good. But these sweet potatoes are so good. I just do not want to tamper with them. A lot of things I like to do different stuff with. Because I love variety. But something that's so perfect as those, I can't bother it. I can't mess with it. It tastes too good, and I just want that flavor. It's almost nostalgic to me of my childhood. You know, I don't know. It's just so good. I don't know. Maybe one day I'll get a wild hair and put some orange flavoring or some lemon flavoring in there, but I just can't imagine it any different than the way I do it. You know, or, you know, sometimes I will, like if I do a sweet potato mash, I'll put like pecans and marshmallows on it, and that is very, very good. Or I'll do pecans, marshmallows, and just a little bit of honey. But if I'm going to do honey, then I don't do as much sugar. So that would probably be the only other way that I do my sweet potatoes, and that is rare. Or like if I do a baked sweet potato, I could do that too. But if I do them like this, like my grandfather used to call, you know, and you guys may not be old enough to know about this, and I'm really not old enough to know about it either, but like I said, I was raised by my grandparents, so I guess I have an old soul from growing up around them, listening to them talk. But in the old hymns, they call it the old 100. In the Baptist church, in them hymnal books, they would sing all the old familiar songs, and they called those the old 100. So these sweet potatoes are my old 100. They're the old 100. And I like my old 100. I'll do a lot of variations on a lot of things, but my sweet potatoes, I can't hardly vary. I can't hardly variate. But anyway, let me get off of here because this bread is going to be done, and I won't have cleaned up. So let me get this stuff cleaned up. And I'll be back shortly. Peace. Okay, I keep coming up with stuff that I think you guys might like to know. A lot of people don't know, because I didn't know at one point, that this thing here, this is my plastic wrap. And you have your wrap in here the way that you like to pull it. I like for mine to be over. Let me see if you can see that. I like for mine to be over. So anyway, what I want to show you is this tab right here. You want to push that in, all the way in, like that, on both sides. And that holds your roll in place so that it won't easily come out when you're pulling your plastic down. You see that? These are holding it in place. So that's what those are for. I didn't know that when I first saw that. It blew my mind, so I figured I'd spread the love. Anyway, I'm just about to put this on my cucumber, and I wanted to share that. So I'll be back when the bread is done. Okay, you guys, this cornbread, I believe, is ready. Oh. She kind of looked like Elephant Man on this one spot. But I just stuck her with this, and she's done. It's not gonna focus, but she's done. So with this, you just stick your toothpick down in the center, and when it comes back out dry, then that means it's done. So she ready. So I'm gonna take her out of here. It's nice and golden. Sit there right in the center. Cut this oven off. Cut the rest of this stuff off. I'm gonna plate this stuff up for you guys, and I'll let you see the final look, and we'll taste it together and see how it is. I'm excited. I have virtually cleaned up my kitchen, wiped down the countertops. You don't want to leave your kitchen nasty to invite any unwanted, non-rent paying pets, animals, or guests, if you know what I mean. Washed all my dishes, and I haven't scrubbed out my sink yet, but I put that in there so it can drip dry before I put it on my rack. Actually, let me put that on my rack now. Just slide this in the back. Alright. Plating up, and I'll be back. Well, I guess you guys can plate with me. Plate with me, not play with me. So while this bread is resting, we're gonna let this bread rest for a minute. I'm gonna put down my rice on my plate, and don't judge. I am using these good old styrofoam plates because it's late and I don't want to wash anything else. I'm not going to be able to do it. I'm going to throw these jokers right on in the trash can. Oh Lord. Right on in the trash can after we're done eating. So let me grab this rice out of here. I'll make my baby's plate first. A little rice. Some arroz. Put that down first. I'll let y'all see these beautiful, very flavorful black-eyed peas. Oh, that's hot. We got going here. Let's see, let me tilt you down. Yeah. That is what you want, baby. That's what you want. Anyway, let's get these. Let's get these on the plate. Just put them right on top of that rice. And you want to get all that good juice as well. Get some of that good pot liquor. I know the spoon has holes in it, but it does hold some of the juice. So we're going to get that pot liquor on top of that rice with those black-eyed peas. Put this good old cabbage. Give it a good zhuzh around in here right quick before I put it on her plate. Get it all those good juices on everything. Make sure we get my girl some good carrots. Actually, I should have put this in the big part, but oh well. Get my baby some good old carrots to go with this cabbage. she can have healthy eyes and skin. All right, all right. All right, all right, all right. Then put these good old yummy delicious sweet potatoes that have been simmering in this good old butter and brown and cane sugar and cinnamon. We're gonna put this on this plate with the rest of this goodness. Oh, I don't have nothing green, y'all. Yes, I do. Sweet potatoes on my kiddo's plate. And I guess that was a good move because I can put the cornbread with the sweet potatoes. And the cornbread can suck up some of that good old sweet potato juice. And now we're going to sit that down. Cut this cornbread. And in this size baking dish. Let's see. I'm just going to cut it into thirds the long way. And then like that. Grab this corner piece right here. Ooh. Ooh. Yes, indeed. Oh, yes, indeed. Put that right on over here. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. All right, now for my plate. I am going to eat more black-eyed peas than she is, so I'm gonna put my black-eyed peas on the big side. Uh-huh. Let's see. I want to get all this rice off of this spoon before I dip it into my black-eyed peas. All right, put that good bed of rice down. Slide these peas right on top. Let's see what we got here. There we go. Put you guys in the game. Yeah, baby. It's about to be some good eating, y'all. I hope y'all got y'all something good to eat. If not, come on through. Got enough for you. Oh, yeah. Get this cabbage on this other side. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Get me some good carrots as well. We want my eyes to be nice and pretty and healthy also. Lord knows I need some help seeing, so I'll take all the help I can get. All right, all right. Throw some of these bell peppers on top of here. Get off of there. All right. All right. I think I need a little bit more cabbage than that. That ain't gonna cut it. I need a little bit more. Okay. And for the sweet potatoes. Throw those right on in this third portion here. I'm gonna pour a little juice on mine. I like to crunch it down a little bit and pour a little juice. A little of that good old juice. Now, I say I wouldn't put any orange on here, orange flavor, but some good orange flavoring that I would put on here is some Grand Marnier. Cook the Grand Marnier down in there. Ooh, I know that'll be good. As a matter of fact, I might have to do that. That's sounding righteous to me. Sound like something that needs to be explored. All right. Now, I'm gonna put the tops back on stuff. Let's see. And yes, I'm gonna eat my cornbread. Give me some of that good old cornbread. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna have to have 2 slices. As the old people say, 2 slices. Well, I don't know if the old, my grandfather used to say it for sure. Slices. I need 2 slices of cornbread. Yes, indeed. That's what you want. That is what you want, baby. That's what you want. Come get some. I know you want to. I can fry you some fish to go with it. Or bake you some chicken. Or fry you some chicken. You know you want some of that goodness. And oh baby, hold on. The finishing touch. Bam. All right, let's see. I'll get my fork that I'm going to eat with. Spoon some of this goodness. Right on top. Make sure I get my tomatoes so they can come to the party and jam. I don't know if y'all, whoever y'all have children, but I've never even seen this, but one of my girlfriends, before I even had a child, her children used to love this cartoon. And I think it was, I can't remember the name of the little, there's grown-ups who dress up like something like some characters or something, but anyway, they used to sing the song. It goes, there's a party in my tummy, so yummy, there's a party in my tummy. Anyway, that just made me think of that, honey, because it's about to be a party in this tummy right here. And I hope this little baby girl that's on the inside here appreciates it. Because it is about to go down, honey. And I can't wait. And I know baby girl, my other baby girl, my big girl. I know she can't wait. So anyway, I know y'all want me to taste this so y'all can see if I'm just joking or what. So let's go. Let me see. I'm just gonna take a bite so I can go eat with my baby. Whew. Give me a quick thumbnail. I don't know which part I should put front. Yeah, I'll do it like that. Let's see. All right, that'll be my thumbnail. Now let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got here. Lord, please don't let not now morsel fall off this plate, Jesus. I need all of it. All of it. Yes, honey. Let's see. Let me lower you guys down so I don't have to spill my plate so you can see it. I want y'all to see it, but not that bad. I can't spill it. Can't be doing that. It's a party foul. Like at parties, you can't spill the alcohol. At dinner parties, honey, don't waste now piece of food. You hear me? I don't like to waste any food. Okay, there we go. That's a little bit better. Let's see. I want these black-eyed peas first. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. And this is hot, y'all, so give me a second, if you will. Lord Jesus. Thank you, Father. Oh, Lord. I forgot to pray. Let me not swallow. Hold on. Lord, thank you for the food that you give us to receive. And please make it nourishment for me and all my babies' bodies. These things we pray in Jesus' name. We love you, Lord, and thank you, Father. Amen. Amen. Oh, my God. Sweet Jesus. Oh my God. Okay, let me try something else. This is cornbread. This don't make no sense, y'all. I promise you. I want my carrot. One bite. There you go. Gotta turn my face in. I want you to bite. Come get it. Y'all, this is with no hot sauce. No pepper sauce. None of that. Yeah, I'm having to hear it get off of here so I can go eat. Fix some fry. I was just thinking, you know, I always say food tastes better when somebody else cook it. I'm gonna have to renege on that one today. This food here is so good. Yeah. Okay, no. Oh wait. Here's cornbread. Wait a minute. Okay, this is gonna be the last bite for real. For real, for real. Y'all, whatever you saw me do it exactly like that. Don't do nothing different, I promise you. It's so good. Oh Jesus. I'm about to go inhale this plate. I'm gonna try to get me some sleep if my gassy chest will let me lay down. Sometimes I have to sit up and I can't even lay down and go to sleep. But what I am about to do is enjoy this food. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. I have enjoyed it through the pain and all. I'm starting to enjoy hanging out with y'all and cooking for y'all. This is very cool. I didn't know I would enjoy it so much, but I do enjoy it. So thank you guys for hanging out with me. I hope you try this recipe. If you do, please let me know. Please let me know how it turns out for you. If you love it, hate it, or whatever, let me know. I would love to hear from you. And please don't forget to like, please comment, and please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell so that you can get notifications to know when I upload a new video. So anyway, that's it for now. Maybe I'll come back without this tummy, a sans a tummy and plus a baby. So y'all, if I do, y'all pray that I have a good, healthy, happy, and quick labor. Anyway, that's it for now. Love you guys. I'm about to go smash this food. Bye. Baby's calling me. Lord help.